Hey, let me tell you a secret. Most recruiters, they know whether or not you're a good candidate in the first 30 seconds. And it's not luck. There are specific things that we are looking for to identify great candidates. I've been in recruitment for 15 years, and in today's video, I'm going to tell you what these things are so that you can be seen as a great candidate. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing is professional energy. Right away, immediately, we are noticing tone, body language, positive energy. When you look at a candidate and you can see they are engaged, they are excited, they're enthusiastic, they are attentive, you immediately see this is someone who the hiring manager would want on their team, just by how they show up. And this seems like a small thing, but if you start visually disinterested, timid, looking like you're not totally in the zone in terms of interviewing for this role, immediately the recruiter is going to have doubts about your candidacy. That's just the cold hard truth. Okay, so the next big thing is a clear, concise introduction. Most of the time, you're going to be asked to introduce yourself, whether that's tell me about yourself or some other introduction type question. We're looking for you to give us a good overview of who you are as a professional. Now, there's a big difference between fumbling through this, not being prepared, talking forever, and a tight, concise, 60-second introduction that really highlights why you're a great professional for this role right now. That is what you are trying to achieve. And there is a massive difference between accomplishing that and not accomplishing that in terms of how we view you as a candidate right out of the gate. Now, the next big thing is alignment with the role. Being aligned to the role is really important. And guess what? It's not about a job description. It's about the hiring manager. Recruiters, we talk to the hiring managers, right? We ask them all kinds of things about their role. What are the must-haves? What are the nice-to-haves? What is this person going to be doing on a day-to-day basis? What is it the last person in this role didn't do that you need the new person to do? And we're taking that all in. So when we talk to candidates and we're hearing you walk us through what you've done in other roles, what your impact has been, your skills, your behaviors, all that stuff, we're trying to align it with what the hiring manager said they are looking for. Now look, the reality is you don't know what the hiring manager is thinking in their head, right? That's just not possible. But you can look at the job description and you can assume that generally speaking, the job description is pretty in line with what the hiring manager wants. So what you need to do in that interview is be familiar with the job description, and you need to speak to your achievements, the things you have done in prior roles that strongly align with the responsibilities, the duties, the must-haves of the job description. You need to focus on that early in your interview, so immediately the recruiter is thinking, we have alignment here. This person has the skills, background, and experience to excel in the role because previously they have pretty much done it. So the next thing we're looking for is engaged body language. Most people are familiar with the term active listening, but in your interview, you're going to be going and talking to this person for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. It's really important that you're locked in, right? You need to lock in and you need to pay attention. So you're leaning forward, you're smiling, you're nodding to go along with what they're saying. Every once in a while, when it's your turn to answer a question, you're saying things along the lines of, okay, so what I hear you saying is blank, right? These are things that show you are absolutely engaged. Being engaged is a thing that surprisingly a lot of candidates get wrong. There's so much text. Sometimes I hear people or I see people looking down at their watch, looking down at their phone. They're getting a notification. But being truly locked in and connected with your interviewer as you're going through this interview, it lets them know that you are really interested and you're the type of person who is going to interview well with the hiring manager if they choose to pass you on. Now here's a pro tip. Recruiters aren't just evaluating if you can do the job. Most people they are going to talk to are able to do the job, but they are evaluating if you would be a good teammate and what it would be like to work with you. Because if they place you in a role and 75 days later you leave or the hiring manager decides to move on from you because you weren't a good team fit, that's going to adversely impact them. So they're looking for positive energy. They're looking for someone who they feel would be a good teammate and is going to be a good fit for the organization or the team that they're trying to place you on. So having that positive energy, not being negative about past experiences, about past teams, about past bosses, but instead, be forward-looking, be complimentary, and being positive is a huge bonus, and it'll make a giant impact on whether or not they can actually envision you working as part of that team. Now, if you do these things, you're going to end up talking to a hiring manager, and talking to a hiring manager is different than talking to a recruiter. And there are some things that hiring managers are definitely hoping to hear you say. And in this video, I tell you exactly what those things are. That way, you go into those interviews with a hiring manager and you absolutely crush it. You gotta watch this video. I'll see you over there.